guys, it is Tanya, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another speed build. Today we are building a community lot, and it is sort of a park that I thought could be used for any kind of events, but I wanted to decorate it specifically or have it set up for a wedding. It could be for whatever kind of parties you'd like, but I thought doing a wedding venue in a barn would be really cute and perfect for the season of fall, which is what I am in right now. So we're starting by building off this barn here. We're gonna make the top section a little bit wider, and this lot ends up having a main area to get married inside the barn. There's a reception area outside by a gazebo. There's a giant farm of pumpkins here, or field of pumpkins growing, as well as separate building for bathrooms. So there is a lot of stuff going on in this lot. It was so much fun to build, and I hope you guys do enjoy it. I almost forgot to mention, this is a limited pack build. It is only using base game, seasons, and cats and dogs. So I was excited to do that because I realized what I wanted to build. I only needed those packs. I could have easily added stuff from other packs and gone crazy and used every single one. But the things that I mainly wanted to use for this build were all encompassed in those packs. So I thought I would make it limited pack because I don't do enough of those. So I'm trying to fix that. And this is the first of hopefully many limited pack builds coming in the future. So I hope you guys do enjoy that as well. But here we are trying to figure out a layout in this barn because I wanted it to have a place for the wedding arch and lots of seating. But I was also trying to figure out how to make that staircase workable. And I put a half wall over there at first. It's kind of weird. And upstairs basically ends up being kind of overlooking the downstairs floor. There's a small section up there, and I put a piano up there so that somebody can play some beautiful music for the wedding. I just think it's a really chill place. I don't think you're having a crazy fancy wedding here. I do think it's a nice comfy location though, and I think it'd be really fun to play that storyline. Of course, also getting rid of the wedding arch and setting up the inside as a different kind of party type. You could totally have some cool birthdays here, Halloween parties. I guess are they called spooky parties or costume parties in the game if you have spooky day stuff? You could totally have that here. I think that would be a lot of fun. I am just so excited for this time of year. And I have a bunch of other spooky type builds on my to-do list. But it's really weird. Every time I go to sit down and do one, it just doesn't come out how I'm expecting. So I'm not sure when the next spooky build is going to be. But working on a variety of things right now. But fall builds fit in with the theme as well. And so, of course, I'm doing this. And this has been on my to-do list for months. So I'm excited to finally get this out. But we're just figuring out some landscaping here. The amount of terrain paint I had to do on this lot is crazy. It took me a really long time to do the landscaping, but I love landscaping, so it's totally fine. But here we are over here making the gazebo, and a little bit later we're gonna raise it up on higher terrain over here, and I end up doing that for the farming area you haven't even seen yet. There's a little bit of terrain manipulation on this lot, not a ton, but I thought it fit. It looked a little bit too flat, so here we are deciding that this whole side over here is going to be where we're growing a bunch of pumpkins. And I take a very long time to draw out all of these lines, fill them in with other colors, change my mind about what colors I want, and redo it over and fix all of the gaps. So, enjoy that footage. I think I left most of it in. Yeah, I was thinking this orange color, but I think I was like, what are you doing in the end? Or maybe I kept it. I feel like I changed that orange color though. Yeah, I did. I was like, no, this needs to be brown. What am I doing? Oh, it was a struggle. But it was a lot of terrain painting, and I will say one little tip for terrain paint. If you're going to be doing a build that has a ton of terrain painting like this, and you're not going to do it in one sitting, when you go to leave the build, save it to your library, because there's been a glitch for months now that sometimes when you go back to a build, all the terrain paint is gone. But if you save it to your library, when you go back to the build, if it's not there, you can place it from your library and all of your terrain paint will come back. So highly suggest doing that. I don't think I did this in more than one sitting, but I saved it just in case. I was like, every time I was like, okay, I'm going to go get a drink. I'm like, okay, let's save it to the library in case the game crashes or whatnot. And just so I have it if I decide to step away and come back a little bit later. But there we are raising the terrain over by the gazebo, and you can kind of see, I think I did it off camera, but I raised the middle of those fields as well so that it looked a little bit more natural, and I thought it looked kind of cute. So we're just getting a walkway over to the staircase, and up here we're going to just have in the gazebo, like where the bride and groom, or bride and bride, or groom and groom, or whoever is up there, whoever got married, is going to sit up there. And there's also a couple of benches as well as a jukebox, so there could be some music played. And then out here on the grass, which we're going to fill in with some other terrain paint, is going to be where all of the tables and stuff for the guests are. So I thought that'd be kind of nice. Of course, you could probably dance in that area too. I didn't add a dance floor. That could have been something kind of fun. I was just thinking of like a cozy farm wedding. So of course, you could add whatever you would like if you download this build. It should be available in the Sims 4 gallery if you search Gryphi or the hashtag MsGryphi. That information is also down below, as well as a link to the gallery website if it's easier for you to download it there. So we're just going to be doing some more landscaping. I really wanted to have a section in the middle of this area that had a pretty tree coming out of it, specifically that small, pretty flowered tree that came with cats and dogs I wanted to put in the middle here. But I really wanted it to be a perfect circle, so I ended up using some, what would it be called? Some flooring, some decking. I made it a room. That's what I did. And I surrounded it with a little fence a little bit later so that it would be a perfect circle in the middle with a fence around it. And I just thought it looked really cute. I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out. But here we are placing a bunch of greenery around this slot that is going to be kind of the base of what I want the pumpkins to grow out of. And normally when I do pumpkin related things growing out of the ground, I will use the pumpkins from Spooky Day stuff. But since I wasn't using that pack, luckily we have pumpkins that came with seasons. So I'm using those throughout the field, and I think they look really, really pretty. There's just so many pumpkins here. I'm placing them for quite a long time, but then we're going to be adding a scarecrow in the middle as well, which I thought would look really, really cute. And I love that item from Seasons. Though it is a little terrifying, especially if you go and interact with it in first person mode. Would not recommend, but also do it because it's funny and terrifying. But this is going to be the building that I have bathrooms in. We have 2 separate bathrooms for whoever you want. I believe we just put doors that were for anyone on the outside, if I'm remembering correctly. And then these little doors inside that are from cats and dogs, which I think are really cute. And I also use those on the outside of the barn. And yeah, I come back and furnish them later. I just wanted to put the layout there so that it was ready for adding, toilets and sinks and stuff later. I wanted to just figure that out. And I thought about adding a bunch of benches in the middle. I believe we end up adding one later on. But right now we're trying to figure out what to paint the barn. It does end up being red, but I have parts of it being white. And I just think it looks really cute. And I also put that awning up there, but I also add a second awning and put it under that awning, which is kind of weird. But I enjoyed what it looked like. So you'll see that in a little while. Right now, actually. See, I doubled up the awnings. It's kind of strange, but I think it looks kind of neat. So I left it. But we're just adding some more windows in here. The window placement on the outside of the barn is kind of strange, but I feel like it works really nice inside. So I was okay with that. And you're not really looking at the back of the barn much because it's at the back of the lot. So the front looks nice, and I think that's all that matters for this lot. Also, there's kind of weird window placement on the bathroom building as well, but I just wanted some natural lighting to come in there. And it looks better if the outside has some windows rather than none. So that's what we did. And then we're going to be doing a ton of landscaping all over the lot to kind of make it look a little bit more alive other than the pumpkin field. And yeah, I'm just going to be fiddling with this roof and adding so many more plants, like so many more plants. I wonder how much time it actually took me to do just the landscaping on this lot, because the majority of this lot is landscaping, which is really fun for me to do when I have lots like this. And I do want to do a general park sometime in the next month or so that's not like, oh, this is a fall barn farm. Yeah, fall barn how did I say that? Fall barn farm. Yes. Anyway, I want to do a regular park at some point. But if you guys have any suggestions on what could be included in a regular park that I could build, let me know, because I'm like, okay, jungle gym equipment, maybe a pool, trees, walkways. I'm not really sure. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. But we're still working on landscaping, and we're going to be doing that for quite some time. I did go through the debug menu a lot to try and find some landscaping items, and I used some of them, but there's a bunch I didn't use in the end. I tried a bunch of stuff, and some of it worked and some of it didn't. I really liked using that ivy or those leaves that are crawling up the wall but have the planter at the bottom. I thought it looked really nice and kind of matched the red of the barn anyway, so that was nice. And just adding some of these show live edit objects, plants around. I just feel like it makes the place look a little bit more alive, having such a variety of plants. And yeah, now we're back inside. I decided to change the color of this wedding arch to this orangey color. It fit the theme a little bit better. And then we're trying to find some curtains, and I end up using these ones in green throughout the whole barn. I just feel like it's such a fall color. And I don't know. It's not a color I particularly like that olive green, but I felt like it really worked in here, and I'm happy with it. We also used 2 of these rugs from Seasons going down the midway there, and then we have these little wedding cards by the entrance. I also assumed or imagined that you could use that table to put the wedding cake on, so you can go and cut the wedding cake after you get married. And here we are upstairs putting this little piano or big piano up here because we don't have normal size pianos. The closest thing is we have a keyboard that came with City Living. I want regular size pianos. I don't need a grand piano for everything. I mean, it worked really well for this build, but can I have a regular stand up against the wall piano, please? Please. I think it's so weird that that's not an item we have in the game, but that's okay. Hopefully one day we'll get that. It's not the top of my priority list, but it is something I would very much enjoy having. And it would just be smaller. It would have the same animations, right? It just wouldn't have that big giant shape and take up so much space. But anyway, we're in a stairwell now. I'm adding a bunch of clutter and stuff under the stairs. I've got some boxes and stuff to prepare for the wedding, as well as the decoration box from Seasons I put under there. That way it was more clutter. It looked nice, but also if you want to use that to add decorations for various seasons to the outside of this build when you're playing here, you can do that. Now we're placing down a bunch of tables for the guests as well as the Sims that got married over in the reception area. And I actually used these tables that we got with the latest Sims 4 update. They are so perfect for this because they're plain white tables. They're outdoor tables with a white tablecloth. And I just was like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. They also come in some funky swatches, like if you want grilled cheese tablecloths or flamingos or plum bobs, I think is the other one. Those might be the ones for you, but they come in a plain white swatch, which was exactly what I needed for this build. So I was happy with that. But here is where I imagined the Sims that just got married will sit and everyone else will sit down below. And so I added the, what is that called? I wanted to call it a boom box. It's not a boom box. The jukebox up there because it's under a roof. So hopefully it won't get destroyed if it does rain because this build was made with Seasons. So if you're downloading it, you most likely have Seasons. I didn't use that much Seasons in it. Obviously the pumpkins and some in the windows, but I feel like I used more cats and dogs than anything in this build. But anyway, you want it to be protected from the elements. So I put it under there. I don't know if it's fully protected because it's technically not inside, it's outside, but it's under a roof, so maybe it's fine. But we're also adding pumpkins to all of the tables, as well as this candle lantern, which I think is really cute. This one's from base game because I just liked how it looked a little bit better, but we do use one that is from Seasons as well, which you'll be seeing shortly. But first we're adding some of these spotlights to face towards the barn to light it up at night a little bit more. This also came with that same update that those tables came with. I think they are so nice that we can just, add a little bit of light directing at a certain area. I think it's perfect. But there were those little lights that came with Cats and Dogs or Seasons. I think it's Seasons that I thought were pretty. So I placed a couple of those around the lot, and then we're doing some more landscaping. Can't get enough of landscaping. I fill in so much of the area with a crazy amount of plants, honestly. I might have done a little bit more than I should have. But I feel like that's just something you always see after you finish it. You're like, oh, this is a little bit of overkill. Oops. And I kind of feel that way about the landscaping on this one. But that's something you can just delete a bunch of plants if you'd prefer to not have as many as I put on this lot. But I think the rest of the lot came out pretty nicely, and we're actually going to add some jungle gym equipment over on the other side of the barn a little bit later, because I didn't imagine this is always a wedding venue. It can be for whatever, so I thought a play place for the kids would be nice. Also, which I'm going to test once I get back into the game before I uploaded this to the gallery, I'm going to see if I have everything I need to make it a park lot. I think I need some chess tables, so I might have to chuck some of those on the lot. So if you download this, there might be random chess tables if I set it as a park lot, because I think I'm going to do that. But other than that, I think it has everything it needs, because it has a barbecue on the lot too. So I think I'm going to set it as a park lot. But that worked out really well to have the kids play equipment, because that's necessary for a park as well. But yeah, we'll be adding those shortly right over here. I think it's just a nice cozy little corner for the kids to play in. And I'm not sure what else we have left. Is it just the bathrooms? I think it's just the bathrooms. So we're going to place down some toilets and some sinks so Sims can do the business. It's not too exciting, but that's what we're doing. And then we're going to be coming to the end of the video and going over into screenshots. I hope you guys did enjoy this build. If you did, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if you click that bell, it'll turn on notifications to be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Also, if you'd like to chat more with me or anyone else in this wonderful community, you can join our Discord server down below. There is a link to bring you over there. I'd love to chat with you guys, so I'd love it if you'd join. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.